Hello again, future viewers. Today we have a very interesting map, and I don't mean, oh, interesting, like it's weird or actually bad or something. I mean genuinely, well, we'll see.
Though there are many target areas, it is possible to annihilate the enemy by effectively using the train to move from building to building. Destroy the target areas and let the citizens wake up to their town with its tranquility restored. This mission goes by the call name Chicago Daybreak.
Now that's a little boring compared to some of the other mission names. I'm disappointed. Well, now that we have some cash, let's make that new bazooka, shall we? Just as soon as I remember what I'm supposed to be doing. So all of the top tier weapons have RH, which is Richard Hawk. And the game says, oh, those are the weapons that the Vice President uses. That's their not-so-subtle way of saying, if you don't have these for the final confrontation with Richard Hawk, you're going to be outgunned. And we don't want to be outgunned. Well, let's give this thing a shot, see how good it really is. Come on, I was right there. And as for the rest, I don't think I'm gonna need the SAM. In fact, the shotgun's ability to clear objects might actually be useful for this map, even though I kinda downplayed it before. But aside from this map, I don't think the shotgun is useful anywhere, really. Still, one map is better than none.
Forces occupy Chicago. Destroy all the target areas and liberate the town of Chicago.
It's not that simple, of course. Wait, what exploded? He didn't even... What was there to explode? Oh!
Well, if it isn't the heinous terrorist.
If you want to see how Richard Hawk acts when he's not on stage, well, take a look.
Excellent work, Michael. How about a reward to show my appreciation? Poison gas will annihilate the city in 5 minutes. And Metal Wolf will be blamed for the slaughter of Chicago. Have a nice day, or not, Michael.
And we've seen his entire personality. Well, this this map has a lot to it. By the way, I put together a careful route to pick up everything, and then I left that prisoner camp behind because I didn't shoot enough at it. I thought, oh, this guy.
This is DNN's Peter McDonald. Using poison gas as his weapon of choice, Metal Wolf seeks to obliterate the city of Chicago. That coward. Even cruelty has a limit. But rest assured, I have faith that the U.S. military will put a stop to this.
That journalist is up to his old misinformed tricks again.
I refuse to believe that that was unintentional. There's a sharp time limit and a lot of things to pick up, and I was thinking, oh, the machine gun I'm using will clear through those objects in no time. So I just turned around and didn't bother to see whether I had actually cleared the camp. Oh well. Oh well. Anyway, we have a lot of target areas to clear, and we have to be sure to look for those canisters that give us extra time. But there's a couple other things too. Like jumping up here is optional, sort of, but there are a lot of perks to it. One is, oh boy, this race here. So you can dash farther than you're supposed to at the expense of taking some shield damage. And I had two there because if I didn't clear that camp fast enough, the train would run it over. even though the train was on the opposite track. I don't ask me things. Anyway, this rail is a great way to access lots of places on the map, and those particular towers have very good durability, so railgun it is. So not only can you reach a lot of places, that you can shoot some of the target areas from here. It's very handy. And of course, there's that camp that you can, and energy pod that you can't get otherwise. By the way, some of these target areas have really powerful explosive barrels right next to them. There's also one on the other side, but I didn't go for that one yet, and we'll see why. Also, the auto-targeting of the machine gun caused a little bit of problems, but the bazooka has no such issues. So there it goes. That saved me some time. So, this is a very nice place to land, because if you tried to approach this by ground, you'd have to travel a fairly long way and then double back. And we cannot spare a whole lot of time. It feels like it's a little hard to describe. I've seen this in several different games, some action, some not, where you have a strict time limit and a lot of potential things to pick up during that time limit. I kind of like that. It really puts the pressure on the player, and it motivates you to really optimize things and play better. It's just really cool. I wish Shining Force did that more. Anyway, here's a nice little side area that you could easily just not notice if you're hurrying for the target areas. And most of these side places have those canisters so that you can clear out pretty much the entire map and still not run out of time, if you're quick about it. The flamethrower is very helpful here, both for getting rid of those cyborgs and for getting rid of those large vehicles. There's plenty of both of those. It's weird, I haven't seen another playthrough where they use the flamethrower heavily, but I find it very useful. Quite a bit of the combat here is at flamethrower range, and it destroys things incredibly fast.
According to our own DNN human fatality density measuring device, the density of poison gas in the city has already exceeded 50 parts per million. Metal Wolf is a villain down to his last mecha bolt.
So, the new bazooka, what it does is it fires several rounds at a time, but it does have a fairly long reload afterwards, so it's more of a burst damage tool. Not that such a thing is bad necessarily. By the way, when I first saw this level, I thought that you lost at 100 parts per million. And the run I was watching was a speed run, so the indicator never went above that. I'm very happy that that's not the case. 181 is much easier, or more reasonable to deal with, I should say. Now, I knew that there was an energy pod somewhere around here, but I was a little fuzzy on the particulars. Also, my aim is not so great here. What I really want to do is shoot so that I hit both of those towers, but I'm too far to the side to do that. Unfortunate. Then I remembered the problem. There are soldiers down here. You have to kill them, and the last one drops an energy pod. No other energy pod drops in that way. There's usually no real reason to deal with the foot soldiers like that. You can skip most of them. So that was a dirty trick. I'm not sure whether to say shame on them or say well done. I could honestly go either way on that. There we go. It occurred to me that there are very few enemies in this game that are really mobile. Even the mobile armors that you fought in that showdown only really jumped straight up, and they barely moved around if you were at any distance from them. So even though this is by the makers of Armored Core, it's clearly a different feel. You are 95% of the time the only mobile thing on the field, which is, it feels a little strange. I guess that kind of fits the way this is kind of a breezy game. Like, oh, okay, those barrels. You notice I skipped those guys before, and that's because if you detonate those barrels, like I was tempted to when I was up on the rail, I would have destroyed that prisoner camp. That wouldn't be great. Also, I was a little too close to those barrels when I shot them. Oops. And it's very easy, if you're not looking at a guide or other playthrough, to miss all these buildings that have breakable windows and you can go right in. And then you would see, alright, I completed the mission, and then there's a huge amount of stuff that you missed. Now, where? Where? Fortunately, I know where. And I have to say, the map design is pretty good. They were careful to give enough of those items so you can clear the map if you know what you're doing, but not so many that the pressure is ever off. By the way, destroying those buildings does not actually slow down the increase in the gas meter, unlike the charging the Alcatraz cannon thing. Oh yeah, and they pulled that trick again. This time I hit it at least. Well, finally getting towards the end, but I thought this map was very annoying, but the more I learned about it and how it worked, the more I appreciated it. And that's some pretty clever game design. I like that. And it wouldn't feel right if I didn't use a burst attack at some point in the map.
An utter nightmare. The U.S. military has been demolished once again by Metal Wolf. However, his plan to gas the town ended in failure. Could it be that the hand of God reached down to save us?
I wonder.
Uh-oh. I've just looked into
It'd be interesting if the game went into a bit more depth onto why our intrepid reporter is so enthusiastically enthusiastic in like that. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit. There's a lot to discuss on this map. It'd be interesting if there was some shady business behind this guy, one way or the other. Whether he was being paid to report things in a particular way by the government, that'd be interesting. Well, I stepped on a barrel, basically. I shot an explosive barrel right next to me, so I deserve to lose those points. No problems. And at least I know where that last prisoner camp is and can easily go back to get it, right? Oh, wow.
What's the pulse of the nation say about all this?
Citizens have already begun to wake up to the Vice President's evil intentions. They couldn't stage a revolt in time.
Just the thought of a revolt is enough. I'll take back the nation soon.
This is actually a decent way of thinking, because when the president does retake power, it's very important that the people are actually on his side. Otherwise, things could get even messier. Well, and now the last stage left on the map. Destroy the unmanned superweapon. So that's going to be interesting. Well, I'll see you then. Later.